The Storytel reader is a e-reader that you need a subscription. So you need to have a Storytel subscription. But I must say that it's a lot of benefits having a subscription for an e-reader, because then you have the whole world's all books in one device. And the Storytel reader you can use to listen to audiobooks and also reading ebooks on the same device. So that means that with a Storytel reader you have 700,000 books available and more to come. I think that's quite impressive actually. And that means that you can do a search to find books in your library. You can see which book you have downloaded to the ebook device itself. You can also see all the books that you have added to your own library. And your own library is all the books that you want to read, that you can mark in the Storytel account, books that you are interested in. And then you can list all those books here on the ebook reader itself. I think that's quite impressive actually. And you can also upload your own EPUB books, DRM-free EPUB books to this device through their web page. So you need to log into Storytel website and upload the books from there. And you can easily see the books that you are reading at the moment, and you can do a search quite easily, like so. For example, Stephen King. As you can see there, I can do a search and find that Storytel has 20 books by Stephen King available. Some are duplicates because they are released in both Swedish and English and so on. Well, that's quite impressive, I think. So, all in all, you have over 700,000 books to choose on your account, your Storytel account. And I think that's awesome. So, for example, this book I'm reading at the moment, Diablo Mesa by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. You can read about what the book is about. You can see all the info you need about the book, and you can add it to your library if you want. And as you can see here, you can read it, and you can download the audiobook too to listen to. But I click read because this is an ebook reader, so I think that is better to do on this device. I usually read books on this and listen to audiobooks on my iPhone. So everything syncs between the devices. So when I'm reading here this book on the Storytel reader, then it marks this as the bookmark for this book. So when I now go, for example, back here, I can drop the Storytel reader and I can go into my iPhone and click on that book, and it syncs where I was on the Storytel reader with the app on my iPhone. So I can basically read on all my devices, everything in sync. That's awesome. So for example, if I'm going here and let's say there, and now go out from this, and I'm going back to the Storytel reader, then if I start reading this book, it should say that there is a newer bookmark available. So if I want to go there, I click yes. Then it scrolls to where I left off on my iPhone. And I think that's awesome. It's a very good sync option. But of course you need Wi-Fi for that. So basically you can only sync when you're home if you want, or you can use your iPhone for the internet hotspot feature. So you can use that as a Wi-Fi network on your Storytel reader. So with that, it always syncs wherever you are in the world, because it syncs with the Wi-Fi connection you have to the iPhone. Another great thing is that you can see how many pages are left in the book you're reading, both the chapter and the book itself. I think that's great. And it's a bit to get used to, but these two buttons, you can go back and forth in the book. And if you, for example, like me, sometimes you will hold the device only in your left hand and you want to go forward in the book, then you can actually just do this setting down here, inverted page flipping. That means that when I click now on this button, it goes forward in the book, and this button goes back in the book. I think that's great, because then I can have it in the left hand when I want to. So by just clicking there, now I have normal page flipping again. So now I can go back and forward with these buttons. I think that's great. Another thing that you can use on this device is, of course, light. It's a front light. Many videos and web pages, I think even Storytel themselves says it's a backlight, but e-ink readers doesn't use backlight because that's bad for your eyes. What I know of, all ebook readers uses front light. So when I turn this on, you can do warmth settings, colder, warmer if you want, and you can have different light settings, how much light you want and how low light you want. And that means that it's a front light that lights up the screen from above, exactly as a reading lamp you have when you're reading normal paper books. You have a reading lamp. So the front light on an ebook reader is much better than backlight that you have on an iPhone, for example. Because on an iPhone or Android phone, the light comes from the back and right up in your eyes. So your eyes gets tired and hurt after a while. But with front light, you don't get that, because the front light is the other way around. It lights up the display from above and down on the text. So that's why front light is much, much better. And when you have done the settings here for your front light, it remembers your settings. Now I can turn that on or off by just holding this button. Now I can't see so good because it's so light in here if it's turned on or off, but Now I think it's turned off. So when I check that out, you see that's turned off. So if I now want this to be turned on again, then I just hold this button for a few seconds and it should go on again. But as I said, it's hard to see with such a light room that I'm on. So as you can see, it's on. Now it's off. So that's another great feature. And as you can see down here, you can do some different settings for your font and a lot more. Line height and text size. You can choose different fonts if you want. And that's also great to have, because maybe some books has a different font and different other settings, but with this you can choose which settings you want. And also down there you can switch to audiobook reading mode. I don't have any speaker built in on this Storytel reader, so you can only listen to audiobooks through a headphone jack or with Bluetooth. So you can choose Bluetooth headphones, wireless, or with a cable, 3.5mm headphone jack. That's also good. The audiobook reader looks like this. Oh, sorry, I haven't downloaded the audiobook and I don't want to do that, so I can't show you how it looks, but it looks the same, about the same as on the phone, so we can check that out here. We can go in here and we can switch to the audiobook by just clicking down there. And as you can see here, you have all the settings you need, the speed, sleep mode, you can choose different speed, and forward, rewind, bookmarks, and everything. I think that's great. And when you want to go back to your ebook reader, you just click there. Great. So, and everything syncs between the devices, as I said. You can also click on this book if you want to force it to sync. That could be good to do if you, for example, has been out without Wi-Fi and coming home. You can force the sync, because then it syncs where you were in the book to all other devices. So all in all, I think this is a really, really good ebook reader. If you have a subscription for Storytel, then this is almost necessary to have to me, because if you have a subscription, it's very easy to use this, and it's great to have out in the sun. Direct sunlight. Reading on an iPhone or an Android phone is not so good, not on an iPad either, because the screen is not used to have outside in the direct sunlight. But with an ebook reader, you can read better the more light you have outside or inside. The more light you have, the better the screen gets. So outside in direct sunlight is great on an ebook reader. So that's a huge difference. This ebook reader isn't waterproof though, but this Kobo Libra H2O is, so that's a bit of a drawback with the Storytel reader. But the Kobo eReader doesn't have the possibility to have a Storytel account. And I need my Storytel account because it's what I'm paying for. So I have all the books I want to read. And I think that's great to have on all my devices. All the books in the whole world on all my devices. that is worth the money actually. So if you have a Storytel account, a Storytel subscription, I think you should go for this ebook reader actually. The case is a bit plastic though, but as you can see it has a nice Storytel logo and it works quite good. You can hold the device like this while reading, and it also after a while makes this ebook reader go into sleep mode, and then when you open this you see the cover of the book. But if you don't want to wait for that, you can click on the power button like so, and then it's in standby mode. So when you want to read now, you see the cover of the book first, and then just click the power button and you are back into the book exactly where you left off. I think that's great. I think that's it for this review of the Storytel reader. I will do a video in the future where I compare the Kobo eReader running eReader software with this Storytel reader. And maybe I will also compare it by my iPhone reading on that. So because you can see the Storytel reader is about the same size as my iPhone 13 Pro Max, especially if you open it up and have the screen like this, because then as you can see the screen is not much bigger than the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Actually, if you lay it down here, you see that the Storytel reader is a bit wider, but the iPhone 13 Pro Max is longer. So you have about the same size as the whole Storytel reader when it comes to the length of the side of the page, if you know what I mean. But the Storytel reader is a bit wider though. So basically, if you're happy reading with an OLED or LCD display, you can actually basically do the same on the iPhone 13 Pro Max with a Storytel account. You get all the world's book with this phone, and you can listen to audiobooks and reading e-books on the iPhone 13 Pro Max instead of a Storytel reader. But if you're a lot outside in direct sunlight, then I think smartphone displays, iPad displays is not good enough. Then you need an e-ink display to reading books on. That's why I bought this, and it's quite cheap. If you have a Storytel account, you get some discounts from Storytel from time to time. So you can buy it quite cheap. I think I bought this for 700 Swedish crowns, about $50 or so. I think that's great because it has built-in Bluetooth and 3.5mm headphone jack, so you can actually use this for all your book needs. And the battery life is very good. Even if you have Wi-Fi on, you have at least 1 week of battery life. That's great. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need more subscribers, so do that please. It will help my channel. Okay, bye.